That will fucking style like an answer for a fart. And on the body, my hands ready to part. Never disembark, because I love to feel up in the barn. The fleshy gets to the parts. Never leave a scar, only teeth marks. Less the shift 3, I hold and make a heart. Oh, so let me spark. Yo, so light it up for my taste. I never ride enough. Nah, I felt around my rough. Nah, all they chase the girls, cuz it's for the beast that I lust. Never bust the nut, but excuse the language and the stuff. All the lines that I rush, sounds that I thrust. I roll around my mind from the dawn to the dust. Face covered up, yeah, up and blow it up. Yeah, yeah. With the flip, I came, to rip the microphone to bits. Yo, so give me a minute, I'm well equipped. Spit my shit, it's a shit. Yeah. Left flipping in with a style different. With the flight, with the flip. Yeah. I came to rip the microphone to bits. Yo, so give me a minute, I'm well equipped. Spit, yes, this is it. My left flipping in with a style different. Yo, yeah. So peep it out, peace. Yeah. Y'all, it's my life. Coming with Jen's fake. Just gonna keep it straightforward for you. Yeah. Y'all, check it out. Oh, why yeah, I have thrown around before. I was on track, opted for the detour. I needed a reform, yo. It searched the self just to see if I could be more. Why yeah, I have thrown around before. I was on track, opted for the detour. I needed a reform, yeah. It searched the self just to see if I could be more. You know all that I might drop. It's up my loud. I'll check the way other I rock. I'm coming from the under with the sound, not the thunder or the lightning. Or peep the style I'm inviting you to listen closer to the jam. Oh, now I gotta go and enter the stands, because it's time to keep it real. And no, I'm not talking about making a deal. I'm talking about the great top consciousness. So yes, you know that I'm hardly up getting rest when I must explain such things to my peeps. Hit them with their reads almost every single week. Every time I speak or open up my damn mouth, you hear some philosophical shit be falling out. But that's alright, this is who I have to be. The person who I be in the life of friends and family. Why yeah, I have thrown around before. I was on track, opted for the detour. I needed a reform, yeah. And search the self just to see if I could be more. Why yeah, I have thrown around before. I was on track, opted for the detour. I needed a reform. Search the self just to see if I can be more. Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Be more. Yeah, than the current self and go beyond. See what I my knowledge of self will make one strong. I'll go beyond. Yo, the knowledge of self will make one strong. Yeah, it's my life. Peace.
Shinobi.
I try to stay on DB on a reclaimed juice. They hear me out moves. I try to stay on DB on a reclaimed juice. They hear me out moves. I try to stay on DB on a reclaimed juice. They hear me out moves. I try to stay on DB on a reclaimed juice. They hear me out moves.
Oh, my brain be filled with thoughts. Over the rhyme that I was taught. No tricks, y'all see, no sleeves to hold the cards. And I'm bombard, man, stop in, shinobi golf. I study the art, take it a rip and throw a cork. Over the rhyme that I was off, double that's like dark Mars. Like zipper, you're the rhyme and line that I would make up. Uniquely made with that distinct flavor. Especially when picked up, I flow from in the acre. Upon that instrumental, instead of your monumental. And critical strike out with my utensil. No box of pencil, I'm like the bill of the Grendel. No pencil, yes you know my thought ain't permanent. The rhyme that I be learning with, I be morphing it, turning it, twisting it, just like that tourniquet. From this I be flourishing, that shinobi being circling the style mimicker. I leave him nervously, out of breath, looking purpley. No such thing as perfectly. I keep the love humble in that courtesy, searching for when my purpose be. It's life, surprise, it's a struggle to survive in your mind. It isn't really always on your side when I face and hypnotize. Since I little size by the constant ads advertise. So that's why I try and mastermind with the rhyme and the knowledge in the night that I seek to find in the text and in the line. My thoughts contemporary combined with the ancient time. So we blow. The flower doesn't dry too. The flower doesn't dry too. It just blooms. It just blooms. Just bloom. Just bloom. One month, just bloom.
忍び
It's all my laugh and kick back. What you know about that? How you know about that? A style samurai versus the rise of powdered weapons. I fight against the mainstream subjection to keep the honor in my sentence. The real shit's the relic and I give my life to defend it. No honorable mention. Yes, I be enveloping. Yes, I envelop. So Mr. Whacker rapper, please shut the hell up. Telling tall tales along with fables, selling fib through the nasal of the thought. Yes, I enable loyal. Unlike Cain, I'm too able with this malevolent, and I don't fit your fucking label. Because I busted through that frame of what you thought was cool. I don't make a shout out, well, attend you, ya. I'm a ninja of a Zuma, so get used to the Shinobi rhymer, that old styler, reminiscent of the 90s. My 11 kickback, we're bringing it rightly. Oh, chivalrous and nightly, how my 11 might my style samurai, versus the rise of powdered weapons. A fight against the mainstream subjection to keep the honor in my sentence. The real shit's a relic, and I give my life to defend it. Yo, my style samurai, versus the rise of powdered weapons. A fight against the mainstream subjection to keep the honor in my sentence. The real shit is a relic, and I give my life to defend it. So much emphasis on action and interaction only means to achieve satisfaction. Social network entrapment, never noted. The thinking is completely absent, irrelevant in the face of attraction. So puppet keep dancing, keep acting. They tell ya break a leg, then they turn a profit off the sound of your bones cracking. Investors in transaction, how it happened? Well, ya best believe when they tell ya to believe or to dream. They fail to say to think, but the only time you dream is in your sleep or in the day when nobody seeks to be free. And if I was to believe what most else think, yeah, according to TV and pre-designed scenes, one might think the way that I choose to live my life. My style samurai versus the rise of powdered weapons. I fight against the mainstream subjection to keep the honor in my sentence. The real shit's a relic, and I give my life to defend it. My style samurai versus the rise of powdered weapons. Then I would write a poem in reflection, turns the blade into an intestine. The real shit's a relic, and I give my life to defend it. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it's time, 11 kick back. So sit back, relax, yeah, just relax, y'all, just relax, yeah, just relax, y'all, just relax, yeah. Yeah, well, it's my laugh and kick back. On another level, that's all you can say. One chord, imagine for days. Construct a perfect face and body frame. Make it great, but still fail to explain what is on display. Through the mind, eye, window pane. She filled another page with only her face within me. Where she create, expression elevate. I grab the brush and begin to paint. Within the void, the mind an empty realm of space. Connect two bodies as one plane. I want to touch and feel between the fingerprints. Two touches to heal. To feel what is real. The power trying high. Oh, yeah. The body may reveal. Yeah, she got the concept. No such thing as perfect. And oh, yeah. It's not what I expect, but it won't fight what I would love to accept. It's all conscious, no such thing as perfect. And oh yeah, it makes me reflect, and I accept my God. And the body has its limits, but the mind forever on infinite. Simply the position or the distance, lesson inhibitions. And as an artist, she put me on commission with the return, staying hidden, striking with the wit. 50 shades of 50 tints, and then I'm lost, gone with the wind. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Don't misunderstand. Time to take the hand. The mind expands just to grow another branch deep into the land. We find the rules, you make me want to speak to you, think of you, be with you. Yeah. You make me want to speak control, think control, be withdrawal. She got the concept, north side thing that's perfect, and oh yeah, it's not what I expect, but it won't fight. But I would love to accept. It's all conscious, north side thing that's perfect, and oh yeah, it makes me reflect, and I accept. Oh my God, and now I confess we must undress in the new yes, let's last breath. No regalia, passion intravenously injected in the mania as members of the bedroom gymnasium. Forms harmoniously miscellaneous. Sounds that escape the trachea echo throughout the chambers of the cranium. Remembering that for days to come when you lust just to make some love. Ooh, just to taste the different flavors of. Oh yeah. I wonder in deep thought, just to reach it once, galactic intercourse, yo, it wouldn't be enough. I wonder if I was just to taste it once, if one taste would really be, yeah. She got the concept, no such thing as perfect, and oh yeah, it's not what I expect, but it won't fight what I would love to accept. It's all conscious, no such thing as perfect, and oh yeah, it makes me reflect, and I accept. When minds connect.
Boom. I didn't reprogram the stream deck.
The living curse is hanging out there.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for that quick don't look back pulling out the rug from under you. That was an accidental thing because I didn't redo the stream deck. But I'm here with Matt. Look, he's grown.
Hey, everybody.
He's gotten so much bigger. Yeah.
They got me a bigger box.
This is normally the TV that we use to read stream though, so I am gonna have to pull up Twitch and go to the chat. How's it going? We're here. First look for a lot of you, and first look for not a lot of you, of Breacher. You excited, Matt? You excited
I am. This game has been like kind of brewing and simmering behind the scenes for quite a while.
It has. In fact, I was trying to remember like when I last played Breacher. Because I played it right at the beginning with Doug. And
it's changed so much.
Yeah, like it's not the same game at all when I played, but it was like 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's just been kind of like a slow build.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
So it's exciting. It's exciting to get into it. We have some terrain to show off. We've got some gameplay to show off. Little disclaimer up front. This is Not the final product. It's a lot closer than not being the final product. That made sense. But this still beta copy, would you say?
That's probably a little bit further along than that, but yeah, I mean, like images and some
Right.
wording in text, I guess, is still, you know, could in theory be changed, but it's pretty ready to go.
We do have some assets, some cards and things. It's not quite as fancy as last stream. Won't be flashing them up on the screen because I didn't quite have time to do that. That tire logistics is huge. Yeah. This is the
that's my first kit from you guys way back in the day before I even knew who you guys were. That was my first kit.
And this is the first dire logistics. It is. This was the first prototype model that we ever built. It came with all sorts of prototypey bits that we have since gotten rid of because they are production nightmares.
Ooh, like what?
Like.
I'm really curious.
A lot of layers are made of card. So, like, these are card instead of MDF. All the windows are card. I think they've been transferred to MDF. It came with these card shelves and little card boxes. A lot of it was getting rid of the card. The stairs also have this really fine, like, chain link punched metal sort of look to them. Also got rid of those. Also, those stairs...
Okay.
The treads are also card, which if you thought our stairs sucked now, you didn't see them when they were also half made of card, because those were rough. But we've changed some things and we've learned. But this is a kit that is probably, I want to say it's probably older than the company, technically. Like, I think we made it before we incorporated it as an LLC. So, fun little bit of history there.
Dude, I love it. It's so good. It's going to be perfect for this. Like, it's a great breacher building for this game.
I guess I could actually... No, I can't do that. I could do that. I'm going to... 1 second. I'm gonna switch this to where I can throw you on that side. Then I can pull up chat on this screen, because otherwise my phone is gonna be scuffed and dipping out the entire time. Whoop. There we go. There's that.
I'm a fern. I went into the Bloom's Reach crossover.
Yes. And we'll grab this back over
Breacher
here.
actually takes place in Yovsiga, so now I'm in the Bloom's Reach, and I'm a plant. I've been here too long.
People kept saying they wanted crossovers, so we just said, you know what?
This is a hard one. This is a hard crossover right here.
Yeah. That's me. That was my live stream that I went to was showing me, so that was interesting. Just creator dashboard.
Oh yeah. Breach Sega. I like that.
I would like to manage my stream. Yes. Remind me later. Thank you. And I don't care about that or that. This. I just want to see chat.
Yoff Breacha. Okay, alright, that one might win. I like that a lot.
Get rid of that and save layout changes. Now we're ready to go. BSS Cinematic Universe. That's right. That's what we're doing right here. Breacher. A lot of people here, I will not say most people, but a lot of people probably know a bit about Breacher. Matt, would you like to tell the people a bit about Breacher?
Sure. So Breacher is sort of in the next evolution of game design that I wanted to approach. So Don't Look Back and Violent Dark were kind of very narrative. And I kind of wanted to move in the direction of having something that was maybe a little bit more competitive. So as you'll see when we talk through the game, there's a little bit more granularity. You develop your Breacher, your main character. who has a combat effectiveness score, and that grows over time. If you choose to play like the campaign mode, you can get them new skills and equipment and items and things, and that score will change. And then the person who's playing the opposition force, the Op 4, will then get to build their force based on the operation that you're playing, the scenario, plus the combat effectiveness of the breacher. And then they get to kind of create kind of the army, the force that they want to build. And in general, it's one breacher against kind of a larger op force. But the game is written so that there's some optional rules so that you can play up to 3 breachers against the op 4. And in theory, you could have multiple people then play the op 4. So it's really kind of like a 2 to 4 person game, but you could split up the op 4 and have even more people playing that side as well. And I guess it's kind of important to say, because people would be like, well, if I'm playing campaign, why would I want to not play the breacher? Because that's when you're gaining cryptocurrency, which is sort of the experience that you're gaining. Even when you play the op 4, there's a rule in the game called consulting. So even if you're playing the op 4, it's sort of assumed that there is a breacher kind of in the background, sort of planning the operation and running these forces on the ground. So as the op 4 player, if you win the operation, then you actually still earn cryptocurrency for your breacher or one of your breachers if you're kind of playing with one. So there's still a reason to do it. It's still a lot of fun. But yeah, everybody can still grow their characters together.
You've set up a bit of a scenario for me. Am I playing the breacher, or are you playing the breacher?
I either way, it doesn't matter to me. You choose what you would like to play.
I think I'd like to play the breacher. As the name implies,
sounds good.
Sounds like the main character, which I know you just explained is an incorrect way of thinking, but here we are. What am I except an incorrect way of thinking? Let's give a little tour around this table. I've got to reach over.
So do you want me to kind of go over the operation while we're doing it and kind of how it gets set up?
Yeah, I think that'd probably be good.
Or do you want to just go through the table first?
Let me switch to the overhead cam, and we can do a little bit of both. We've got the Dire building in the middle. We have the Pier boardwalk off to the side. We have an industrial accident that happened down in this corner. As you can see, it's some tight spaces in here for these vehicles. Parking lot back here, little side office, little utilities room, and we do have the interior for the Dire logistics. So how do I set up for a game of Breacher?
So in a traditional setup, what would happen is that we would decide, just like we did, who's going to play Op 4 and who's going to play the Breacher first. So you've chosen to play the Breacher. So then what I would get to do is the Op 4 is I can look through all of the available pre-generated operations, and I would offer you 2 as contracts. So essentially you're being offered 2 things that your Breacher can partake in, and you would get to choose one of them. And then we would set up the table using the setup rules that will be found in the operation. So there might be like some mission-specific buildings or structures. So we're going to be playing Hostage Rescue today, which does have some operation-specific terrain. Then once we've decided on the operation that we're going to play, that will have a base FOP, Force Organization Points, that I would get to as the Op 4 get to use to build my force. Then based on the mission that you've selected, if you're playing what we call a stable, maybe you have more than one breacher, you would select one of them that you want to bring.
So you can have like a crew. You have like a crew of breachers?
Yeah, so if you're playing a campaign, you can play multiple breachers if you really want to. You'll just take one to a mission, or if you're playing 3, in theory, instead of having 3 separate people play, maybe you bring 3 of your own breachers. The score of your breacher, the combat effectiveness, gets added in FOP points, Force Organization Points, to the base for this mission. So we have 12 base, plus your breacher is 12, I believe. So I had 24 points ahead of time to build my force. And the nice thing about that is since we've seen what the mission is, I can now build my force around what it is that I need to do.
Gotcha.
in that
Okay.
operation. So it gives me a little bit of insight into what I want to bring. Now, there's no reason that you couldn't, with friends, just say, we're going to play this, bring your pre-made op for, whatever, if you don't want to spend the time there. But it does offer the opportunity to sort of cater your forces to what you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
So then I went through ahead of time, and I have built my force. Opposition units can be either individual or coordinated units. So individuals are just one model, and coordinated units have to be within 2 inches of coherency with each other, and they operate as squads on the table, and we'll see why that matters for initiative in a moment. But I have one group of 4 thugs, street thugs, so that's like the lowest quality. I've just got some guys from a local gang that I'm using to kind of patrol this dock area.
Yeah.
And then I have a coordinated unit of 3 trained Op4, which that gets into almost like your paramilitary. So they've had training, they have access to some better equipment. So they have things like assault rifles, they actually have some body armor. Their skill level is a little bit higher, and they have a higher hit point pool, wound pool. So I have a unit of 3 of those trained level, and I have a unit of 2 of those at trained level. So that is the force that I'm bringing today.
I was going to show them off, but the close-up camera that was working so well during the entire intro is now no longer working. 1 second.
Just exploded?
Yeah, just switch
Well,
scenes.
while you're doing that, we can talk through. Did you name your breacher? Did you give him a name?
Did I what? Name him?
Did you give your breacher a name? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got him a name. It's Canty.
Canty?
Canti.
All right, cool.
That's what the name is.
So we have Canty. When you create a breacher, what you'll do is you'll choose a specialty. So they are specialized in a certain type of combat strategy.
1 second.
All right. Here we
Hold
go.
on a moment. Hold on.
I don't know what I'm waiting for. Am I waiting? Connor left. He's gone.
Sorry, I realized that I didn't get the hostage for the thing when I was looking at it. Okay, let's rewind real quick to show off your first squad, your Op4, these guys. Just to clarify for the audience, so this is a squad, 2-inch coherency, kind of the basic grunts, right?
Yes, so that's for street thugs. So they have access to kind of basic weaponry and equipment. There's their training level, so their skills are lower, but they're also very cheap. But they do kind of have a larger coordinated unit base size. So 4 is actually the smallest that you can purchase them in.
Gotcha.
So we have 4 guys here. They cost 1 FOP each, 1 force organization point each. And they are able to be equipped with close range weapons and medium range weapons.
Okay.
And they do not, I believe, they do not get access to like special weapons, like support weapons and things.
And we also,
So these are just like our lowest level guys.
as some people see, we're using a lot of Spectre models because those are the miniatures that we currently have a lot of that fit the theme. So then these next 3 guys, a little bit more well trained.
Yes, so trained level, again, that kind of represents like either maybe like private military, maybe people who were ex-military. They have, our guys today have access to assault rifles, and they do have body armor, and they cost 3 force organization points each base, and then 1 additional point to give them their body armor. So each of those guys costs as much as that squad.
The entire squad
street
behind
thugs.
them. All right, and
And
then
again, these guys have just better stat line. They have more. They're capable of taking more injuries before they're taken out. And an important thing that maybe we'll see today: trained level and higher quality. They don't have to worry about routing. So a coordinated unit that takes 50% or more casualties, when they're chosen to activate, they'll just run away unless they're within line of sight of a trained unit, or when we get into it, you spend some of your momentum to keep them on the board. But trained, they don't have to worry about that. And they can also be purchased in smaller coordinated units. So 2 is their minimum, and they go up to 4, I believe, off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
And they can also have access to things like light machine guns or anti-material rifles. They can get some heavier weapons.
Okay. And then you have the next group of 2, which same thing. They're just a second
Same
group.
thing, just a unit of 2.
Okay.
And they
Now,
have body armor as well.
now let's get a good close up. Ben, are you in chat? Ben yesterday said you need a breacher. I'm going to paint you up a breacher. And Ben does some pretty good paint jobs. Ben, are you in chat? I was going to show off this breacher for everyone. I don't think Ben's in chat, Matt. Anyway, so here's a breacher. You showed off a little render. We've got one here. A little prototype going on. Let me get these guys out of the way. Let's show this guy off. He's pretty cool, I would think, you know? He's looking over his shoulder. I'm wearing my hair in a ponytail. And for his ponytail, he can do some cool breacher stuff. He could like be running, looking over his shoulder, and then like trip and like fall down. Yeah. Be a pretty cool guy. So let me set this up here. Let me give it a little bit of a Listen, I don't want to say that this is a classic situation that just occurred here. But we're going to need some super glue for this breacher. There was
Connor the ankle breaker.
There was some leverage that occurred here. Breacher down. I'm gonna. So, you know what though? Hold on a second. What do we? I was trying to figure out what this was earlier, and now it's become very clear. Good old Ben always has my back. So I don't think I'm actually going to need super glue here. Just gonna need to. Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we can just keep going here with this breacher. This is now Canty 2, the number 2 after the fact. And Canty 2 is my breacher. All right, so let us move on with what we've got going here. I've got the ankles broken. They're out of the way. The Spectre miniatures are metal. We don't have to worry about those. So my breacher. Tell me about Canty 2, my second breacher.
Well, Canty, what I just went in and deleted the that other breacher listing. So we have Canty 2 now. So when you build a breacher, you choose a specialization. And we have things like assault, heavy, there's marksman, there's covert. So you choose kind of the gameplay that you want. And this breacher today, Canty's an assault breacher. He's sort of well-rounded in everything.
Okay.
But maybe not the best at one particular thing. So he's more the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So what that means is that once you've chosen your specialty, then within that you get different loadouts that you can choose from. And loadouts have some very specific assets that you'll be able to choose from. So you'll have a certain number of reloads, and we'll get that into the game. So as you make attacks, you will generate low ammo tokens, and eventually your weapon can run out of ammo, and you'll have to reload.
Okay.
You will have a certain number of grenades, and today we're going to not get into grenades just to kind of streamline gameplay. Then you'll have some tactical equipment slots, and that will allow you to go through and purchase some specific things. Some equipment doesn't actually add to your combat effectiveness rating, and some of it does. But you'll have 5 points to spend on that. And then the particular loadout for your breacher today has 2 armor. So he's got a plate carrier under that suit jacket. He has 5 reloads. He has 5 points of tactical equipment and 2 armor. And one of the neat things about breacher is that for your character that you create for your breacher, it's pretty granular in the equipment that you can choose from. So Ben made this guy, just put this model together, and it was actually really easy to go in and just select stuff based on what he looks like. So he has a medium assault rifle, or a medium assault rifle. So he gave him a suppressor, which did not add any combat effectiveness, so it just took 1 of his points.
Okay.
He has a laser sight, which again did not add 1. He has a spare mag, so he gained an additional reload. He has a bipod, and he also has a civilian med kit, which can help him out during the mission. And one of those did add 1 additional. Oh no, it was his loadout. I'm sorry, his specific loadout that he chose gave him 1 more combat effectiveness. So all breachers are a 10 base, and then his particular loadout, because it has armor associated with it, gave him a +1. And all of his equipment that he chose cost 1 of his tactical points, but did not add any additional combat effectiveness.
All right, cool. Cool. All right. So we've got the breachers. We've got the Opfer. East Texas is coming out there.
Yeah, it is.
Let us set up this map, set up this board. What am I looking at here? What do I need to do?
So we are playing the hostage rescue scenario. So we're choosing, you have the mission there in your brief packet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to do the bottom? So the breacher deployment is going to include the
industrial accident?
The industrial accident side of the board.
Yeah, I was gonna do that because I thought maybe, I'm not sure exactly how deployment works here, but I thought maybe my breacher was gonna be extra sneaky and he was gonna come in on this canoe right here. Maybe a silent entry.
He's at least gonna be pretty close. He's pretty close to it. So the way that we would start setup, is that we set up the table, which we've done, and there are some specific rules for kind of going back and forth, placing mission-specific things first so that it has its place, and then as players, we'd be able to kind of go back and forth and build the table that we would like. There are also really extensive rules for randomly generating an operation, which I think it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it for Don't Look Back, and this one's even more granular.
Yeah.
Even down to you can have some different types of weather things influencing the board. But the breacher deployment area is that bottom half of the board, so 3 feet across and then 12 inches up, is considered breacher deployment.
Okay.
But what we're going to do is we're going to place breach points on the table, and each operation will show you where they go, but these are possible insertion points that you'll be able to choose from. So again, the Op4 have had the opportunity to create the force based on the mission that they're going to be undertaking.
Yeah.
And they also, because they have a lay of the land, the idea of breach points as well is that the Op4 kind of know where weaknesses are in the area. And those are also the areas that the breacher is going to exploit. So this particular one has 3 different breach points, and they're 3-inch template circles that you're going to place on the table. So we have 2 that are in the corner, kind of 6 inches in and 6 inches up.
All right.
On the sides there.
Okay. I've tried to grit this orange acrylic. Hopefully it would kind of
it shows up pretty
show up nicely for these things. So is that what we kind of got going here? 6 inch, 6 inch, 3 inch run here in the middle?
Yeah. Oh, I see how you're orienting it now. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm orienting it like I'm looking at the thing. My bad.
Yes. So that's great. So we have one kind of in the center there, and then there's 2 on each side.
Yep.
So we have those. So the breacher deployment goes up 12 inches. So you may have to kind of slide dire logistic back a little bit.
Yeah, I see. Let me grab a tape measure real quick. Yeah, so I'll just scooch it. I'll just give this a good old scooch.
Just give it a little scoochy scooch.
I'm just gonna give
scoocher in there.
Just gonna give this a little scoocheronies.
And the the operation layout, the pictures will show you. They've got like some very specific like measurements and things on there. It'll be really easy to kind of lay it out. One of the other things that we would do kind of traditionally during setup is as we're placing terrain, we would decide kind of what cover levels it would offer, and cover provides additional armor for units that are obscured by it if they're being shot at. And what we can do for today as well is we can just sort of, and you can play this when you play also, you can just sort of look at what the person is using as cover. And the different types of cover are pretty specific. Like, they'll make recommendations like wooden walls, sandbags, concrete reinforced. So we can just sort of look at the situations as they come up. And we can sort of assign them cover. There's also different types of terrain. So you can have open, difficult, dangerous. Maybe for today, we'll just play with it as mostly just open. So we can just focus on some of the core rules.
Yeah.
Just kind of move around and blast each other a bit.
I like focusing on the core rules.
I think it'll be a nice intro for everybody watching. Sort of get into making skill checks and range bands and damage and all that kind of good stuff.
Let me on the widescreen, yeah. So I'm just doing a little bit of rearranging over here. I was trying to add, how dense is it for breacher, for terrain? How dense?
So it really, the more dense, the better, because you're going to be doing a lot of kind of maneuvering, especially for the breacher, since you have one model. Typically, you want to be able to kind of run from cover, duck behind things, duck out and shoot. Being in the open is not great.
Okay. All right. Got a little rearrangement there. Better suit the map. Here we go. This can be right here. Cool.
Perfect.
All right, I got the breach insertion points. What's next?
And the other thing I think that for people watching that's important is that when you put these tokens down, the breach points down, you also want to imagine them as a cylinder. So if you had like that building with the security building down there with the radar dishy thing on top, the satellite dish.
Yeah.
If that breach point was placed, let's say, inside that, the breach point is basically like an infinite cylinder up. So you could then deploy on the roof of that. If it was like a 5-story board or building, you could be like, oh, I want my breacher to start on like the 5th floor. So it like, basically gives you deployment within that 3-dimensionally.
Yeah.
Up off the table.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like verticality.
And if you're playing with more than one breacher and somebody's a marksman, you may want to do that. Like one breacher may want to deploy way up on top of a building, and for that operation, he's really not going to be doing a lot of moving. He's just going to be giving cover fire.
We'll go there, and we'll go here. And dumpster can go here. And this can go out here. It's got pushed up against the building. Cool. All right.
Another important element of operations is that you can choose to, as an optional rule, there are rules for having civilians on the table. And normally the hostage rescue operation would use civilians, but I don't believe we're going to use those for today either. You could save those for another stream, maybe with some more detailed, like some of the extra rules and things that are in there. But civilians can play a really big role in making it dangerous to shoot. Shooting civilians is not a good thing for either side. You make them angry. So
being shot upsets people.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not what you want to do. For the Op 4, you want to kind of have the people locally, you want them to not hate you so that you can operate in the area. And as a breacher, it's bad for business. If you're killing civilians, you're less likely to be chosen or offered operations in the future.
But that makes sense to me. All right.
So now I have a special rule for this operation called reinforcement. So up to 6 FOP of units may be set aside at the start of the game and then brought onto the table at the start of turn 8 in contact with any table edge. So this would give me the option to maybe, if you're getting in there and getting away, have the ability to bring some things on to try and harass you with later. And I think what I'm going to do is keep my street thugs, the 4 of them. Okay. I'm going to hold them off the table for now.
All right, I will place them up here in this corner.
So we may have to call in some local help if we can't keep things under control.
You've got, yep, all right. So you don't know which point I'm coming in yet. You just know it's one of those 3.
No, correct.
All
and
right.
Now the next step, once we have the breach points out, I get to set up my Op 4 units within my portion of the table. So yours is kind of that bottom edge 12 inches in is you're considered the breacher deployment area. So I have the rest of that table section that I can deploy in. And I also have to place my hostage.
All right. You got this hostage. This hostage. Chunky metal mini, by the way. This guy's so heft.
He's cool. So we've apparently maybe grabbed a diplomat or somebody, like a sheik, a local visiting sheik. He was here for business. We've nabbed him for whatever our nefarious purposes are.
Yep.
And I have to place him within the that mission building. So I think what I'll do is I will place him on the 2nd floor towards the back of the Dire Logistics building.
Ooh, gonna make me work for it, eh?
Yeah, heck yeah, I am.
Do you want me to put him like towards here or like up here? Like, because the stairs entry's over here. And I'm like in this back corner.
Let's go ahead and we'll keep him in that closer area, like towards where the breacher will come in. I kind of like that little area up there.
All right.
And then, you'll have to come up the stairs and get to him.
So I know where the hostage is.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
You have good intel on the situation. Now, we'll be able to, you'll see in a minute, the mission will allow us to kind of change that. Now I also have to, as the Op 4 player, place all of my units. So I think what I'm going to do is put my 2-man unit up there at those windows.
Okay. Facing the breacher points?
Yeah, yep.
Alright. I don't like the looks of that.
Then I think I'm gonna... And then I think what I'm gonna do is place my 3-man unit behind that lighter, the front, like the lighter green car on the side there. Yeah,
this one right here.
So it'll kind of be behind. Yeah, we're gonna be kind of patrolling out of the parking lot.
You want to be taking a break at this break table that I set up?
Oh yeah, but we were just finishing up some coffee.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be having some coffee there. This unit also, this operation also has an opportunity for some secondary objectives, which I don't know if you grabbed those or not. Do you have some secondary tokens?
What do they look like? I have 8 different.
So they're going to be just 30 millimeter bases that we'd have stuff on. So we could have them be like weapons caches or laundered money.
No, but I do have some. I have some 32 millimeter ones that I can grab.
Yeah, just if you don't mind grabbing a couple of those.
Yeah, just hang out with those guys on their smoke break. How many do I need?
Just two. You just need two 32 bases. 32 or 30 millimeter. 32 in this case is fine also.
Got these point of interest tokens from our Don't Look Back stream. I wonder which one is going to show up better. What color?
I don't know. Aren't they bluish?
One's blue and one's green. Like the blue, maybe, which is the stash of guns. All right, where do I put
so
those?
we're each so what's going to happen with these is that each player places one objective inside any building in the OPFOR deployment area.
You place one and I place one?
Yes.
Where would you like to place yours? Who goes first? I do?
I think what I would like to do is place mine in, if you set it on the trunk of the black car.
Okay.
We'll call that a building. That seems like a cool place. Put the guns in there.
I was going to maybe put mine in a container.
Yeah, sure.
Am I trying to, like, get to this? Like, is it advantageous for me to put it close?
What secondary objectives allow is for the breacher can destroy an objective, secondary objective token by moving into contact with it and making a technical skill check as part of a movement maneuver. At the end of the operation, the breacher player gains one additional cryptocurrency for each of these objective tokens destroyed. So we know we're here to get the sheep. That's our main objective, but being able to cripple this force by taking out some of these additional objectives is also beneficial.
Yeah. Okay, well, I put mine inside of this blue container. But
great.
I'm leaving it on top of it now, just so we see where it is.
Sure. So we have...
Okay.
Now that I have all my guys on there, the objectives are on there. Now you get to choose one of the available breach points, and you're going to deploy your breacher wholly within that breach point. And again, it's three-dimensional, so like that one in that building, you could be on top if you wanted. You could be inside that building. You could be over by the water, whatever you choose to do.
I'm going to choose to have infiltrated. And do I take away these points afterwards, or do I leave them?
They're going to stay.
Okay. I'm going to have infiltrated. Where's my breach? Oh, there it is. Via the canoe. I'm going to stick with it. I thought that was a funny bit. I'm sticking with the canoe bit. I have canoed my way up to this industrial accident that your crew has not cleaned up. Very silently, I had a lovely conversation with the retired person who was running the canoe shop. And I was like, I need a canoe. And she was like, you don't want to go canoeing in that suit, do you? That's asking for trouble, Sonny. And I go, trouble's what I'm looking for. And then I climb up the thing, and that's where I am.
All right, perfect. So a lot of the reason why breach points will stay is for many of the objectives in operations, you'll have to do something and then exfil off the table through it. Sometimes it might say like the breach point you chose. In this case, you're gonna have to. Your objective is to move into contact with the hostage, and the hostage will start to follow you. And you have to make it back out into any of the breach points that are on the table. So you have to get back to one of those three.
Okay. Understood.
Breach points also have to be clear of OPFOR forces. So if I have guys standing inside of one of the breach points, you can't just like walk into it and just be like, we leave. You'll have to clear enemies out of it. Now, in the case of a building, if you had the breach point in a building and there were people on floors above, it's the ground level that you have to clear out. So if there were guys on second, third, whatever floor, you could still exfil through the bottom floor.
Yeah,
that's always available.
Cool. All right.
Now what we need to do, since we have our forces, they're set up on the table, we have to create the contact deck. And this is what will determine initiative during the course of a turn.
All right.
And that's done by, as the OPFOR player, I take one contact card for each unit of their training level. So I currently, on the table, only have 2 trained units. So you're going to take 2 OPFOR trained contact cards.
1, 2.
And then what you're going to do is take 1 breacher activation card, contact card, for every Op4 one that I have in there. So the Breacher is always going to have the same number of activations as the Op4, except for some special cases where we could kind of sneak some things in and around. At the end of a turn, if you were to eliminate one of my units and I would pull the contact card from the deck, then you would also lose one of your activations, but that doesn't happen until the end of the turn.
Okay, so we got 4 cards here.
And then so I guess a good representation of what would happen too is, so eventually when I bring on turn 8, if I bring in my thugs, then their initiative card would be shuffled in when they show up. But your additional Breacher card wouldn't get put in until the end of the turn. So I get to sort of spring a bit of a surprise until you have an opportunity to react.
Okay.
So we have our initiative deck. So right now we just have 4 cards in there. We start the game with, I have 3 momentum points, and you will begin the game with 2 momentum points. And those we can spend for specialty actions. Sometimes an operation may allow you to spend them for something, and in this case, we do. So for this special rule in here, we have a rule called Deception. So the Breacher player may spend one of their starting momentum points to move any breach point 3 inches in any direction. So that's before we begin the game, so now that it's set up. So before you chose where you put, I forgot to tell you this, you could move one of those breach points up to 3 inches.
Okay.
And that can be done more than once. So if you really wanted, if it would give you like a huge advantage, you could be like, oh, I'm going to spend all 3 of my beginning or to my 2 momentum at the beginning and move a breach point 6 inches if you really wanted to. So it'd allow you to kind of change cover, kind of react to the forces on the ground.
No, I think I'm happy with my canoe entry. A canoe entry.
I love that. So another thing that can happen is that once the hostage has been deployed, the Breacher player may spend one of their starting momentum points to move the hostage to any other location within the building in the center of the Op4 deployment area.
Would you like to do that?
The Breacher player may do that.
Oh, I could choose to move them anywhere in the building. I mean, getting them down the stairs would be very beneficial, I feel like.
Yes, it would.
What else? I mean, should I say? I'll save it. I'll save it for later.
Okay. You will have an opportunity to gain more when we roll for initiative. If you win initiative, you'll have some options for what you can do, and gaining momentum is one of those. Every Breacher class also has an action that they can take that if they are successful with it, they gain additional momentum. So basically rewards you for playing as you would play. And the Assault Breacher specifically is when he kills an enemy unit using the stacked mag momentum ability, you gain a momentum. So you can sort of build off of using that and kind of do it for free if you're successful in killing people. So that's what the Assault Breacher is good at. We'll get into that.
Okay.
But if you don't want to move him, then we're ready for the first turn. So what you're going to do is shuffle our contact deck up.
Shuffle, shuffle. Okay. Shuffled.
Excellent. And now we're going to roll initiative to see who goes first in this first turn. So we're each going to roll a d10, and the higher player, higher roller, will go first. And there'll be some choices you'll get to make. And if we have ties and things, then there's some different ways that we'll figure that out.
I'll be white d10. You can be red.
Excellent.
1 and 4. You have 1 initiative.
So you got the 4? Sorry, I can't see it yet.
Oh wait, no,
Delay land.
you got the 4.
Oh, so then if I go first, so as the as the Op4 player, what I'm going to get to do is make some choices. So I can choose to gain 1 momentum point, and I'm sorry, you would get a choice. I get both. So I gain 1 momentum point, so I'm going to go up to 4.
Yeah.
You want to keep track of that for me, please? Do you mind?
Yeah, I've got 4 down here for you.
And I get to look at the top 2 cards of the contact deck and put them back in any order. So I get some information and some choice in what's happening.
Okay.
If you had 1 initiative as the breacher, you could either choose to take 2 momentum points or take 1 momentum point and look at the top 2 cards and put them back in any.
Oh, okay.
So initiative is pretty important for that.
So these are the 2 top cards.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Watch hand and not watch hand.
Watch hand and not. Okay, so not watch hand
Yeah.
is going to go on top. Yeah, not watch hand is going on top.
Okay. Oh. All right.
Perfect. So now the winner of initiative is going to draw the first card. So I would, but you're the only one there, so you're going to go ahead and draw that first card.
Oh, you drew your trained army. I see what you did there.
So something that happens with this game now, I chose to take some smaller, more elite units. But if I had had a lot of sort of individual models running around, obviously there would be more cards in the deck. I would have more activations. You would have more activations. When I draw a card, so this one is trained, I get to choose any of my trained units on the table. So that also the more similarly trained units you have, the more options you have earlier in the turn. I cannot activate the same unit more than once, though. So if I say move my 2-man team with this one and then I draw the trained card later, I can't move them again. But I do get the choice of which trained units to move when I draw them.
Okay.
And I think what I'm going to do as Op 4, I now get to choose to do a movement maneuver followed by a combat maneuver. When a breacher goes, they get to choose 1 combat maneuver and 1 movement maneuver, but you get to do yours in any order you want. I have to kind of follow a movement and then a combat. You get to kind of read the situation and decide what you want. You're a little bit more nimble on the battlefield than I am.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is choose to activate my 2-man unit on the 2nd floor.
All right.
And I'm going to have them spend their movement maneuver on aim. And any unit can benefit from the aim action up to 2 times. So I'm going to have them aim, and then I'm going to have them use their combat maneuver and hold Overwatch.
Okay.
So we must have gotten some radio intel from a kid on a bike further down the pier who's like, dude, there's a guy in a suit with 1 eye.
In a canoe.
Your face. You might want to watch out for that.
If only I'd worn a bathing suit, they wouldn't have picked up on me.
So yeah, so we're just gonna kind of now be ready out the window. We're like, all right, let's kind of watch this area down here and make sure we don't get crapped up on.
Okay.
So that would be the end of my activation. So they have done the things that they can do. Some options cross between both combat and movement maneuvers. So aim is one. You could choose to spend your movement maneuver to aim and then also your combat one. So there's some play between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Within both Op 4 and the Breacher.
All right, and now is it my turn or is it deck? Does the deck?
Well,
decide?
so it's your turn to draw the next card off the initiative deck.
It's me. I drew a breacher. Yes.
So now that means that you get to choose 1 combat maneuver and 1 movement maneuver, and you get to do yours in the order that you would like.
All right, so breacher combat maneuvers, tactical movement. I could jump. I can aim, can trauma care, can hold Overwatch, interact, reload, wildfire, precise shot. Is it direct line of sight for range?
It is. So it's from your line of sight, and all models have a 180-degree front arc. So attacking people out of a front arc is important. Which way you have your units facing is important.
All right, and your window's going to be giving you some cover in there, huh?
Yeah. I would say that the window would probably be level 1 cover, so that would just be kind of like essentially light cover. So I'm both would be obscured and would be able to benefit from 1 additional point of.
Well, in this case, I think I'm just going to move. I have movement 5 inches. Can I do a move into 5 and a movement of 5?
Yeah, so you can take the movement maneuver walk, which will let you move a number of inches equal to your movement value. You can make any number of turns, change your facing any way you would like. There's also run. The unit may move, they make a move equal to twice the unit's movement value in inches in a straight line. They may make a single turn in there up to 90 degrees during the movement. But at the end of that, you can only make melee, wildfire, full auto, or burst attacks, so you can't really be aimed.
So, I don't know if I'd say that you can see in between this right here. It would be a pretty tough shot to lean out the window.
I agree. You totally make the calls on that kind of stuff. That sounds good.
I mean, you would be shooting through it, yeah. But would you have Overwatch? Like if I walked between these 2 crates, would you?
So I would say if you're saying that I can't really see, then no. If I had, like, let's say you had decided to sort of run straight out into that open there, then I would be able to make some less accurate attacks at you.
Gotcha.
But if you're going to creep along that thing, then I would say you're probably avoiding.
And is there like a sprint action that I could maybe get past your Overwatch or something? I have not read these rules at this point, guys. I have not read rules in 3 years.
Running itself marks you with a run token, so you are naturally harder to be hit when you run.
Okay.
Then also having Overwatch gives me an additional negative modifier to hit because it's essentially like a snapshot, and I have to kind of take less accurate fire actions. So sprinting does help get through Overwatch because you're just harder to hit when you're running.
All right, so I'm just going to go 5 and 5, and I'm just going to creep my way up this railing.
So the movement that you took, that 5-inch one, is a regular movement maneuver. Then you go to a combat maneuver, and there is a movement in there. You can jump, but you can also take tactical movement. So that's the only real move action you can take is a combat maneuver.
Oh, move up half.
And it lets you move.
Rounded down.
Yes, rounded down. Yep.
So instead of 5.
You also gain moving and tactical movement. Also gives you an additional +1 armor from cover. And units shooting at you outside their first range band are an additional -1 to hit.
Gotcha. All right, so I've moved up from here, and then tucked myself in right behind this.
Great.
Next card.
Yeah, now we're into I don't know what it is territory.
It's a breacher. So you drew a breacher card. Yes?
Yes, yep.
Now
that means that you're going to get to go.
Okay. If you have a 4K setup, oh, there we go. All right, so I get to go again. I mean, I really just feel like I need to get to this hostage, right? So, like, movement, can't really see any of your guys. I think I'm just going to keep a scooching. 2, 5 takes me to there, and then another 2. Can I open a door as an action? Open a crate?
You can so it would be part of your movement. It would be a technical. It would be called interact.
Yeah.
Which is in combat maneuver, I believe. Yep. And it's just a command or technical. So you get your choice of which one you would like to use.
I'm gonna open that door.
For you, your command is, let me hop back up here real quick. Your command is an 11 and your technical is an 11. So like I said, you're the more kind of generic.
Oh, I have
Either
to.
one. So
I
you
have to
make a
roll
D20
for it.
of 11 or less.
D20 of 11 or less to open it. Oh man, here we go. It's a 5. I did
Because
it.
this also assumes like lock picking. If the door would be like an open door, then obviously you could just open it. But I would assume these would have their like goal they have on them, so people don't steal their stuff.
Yeah. This dice is cool because when I roll it, you can only see the number. That's kind of interesting. I did it. I rolled a 5, so I opened the door and I've tucked myself in.
Yep. All right.
And then I draw the card, which will be you. Second trained action.
And did you? It's hard for me to see. Did you move the Sheik down to the first floor, or did you leave him?
Left the Sheik. Sheik is still
Okay.
second floor.
So I think with my up for trained unit around the picnic table,
Yeah. Yep.
they are going to.
They're just hanging out, bro. It's all right.
They are going to just walk down towards the little barricades down there.
Okay. And their move
My
is...
guys have a 4 inches, I believe.
these
It
guys...
actually
4?
should be on the card. I believe the way that we've laid out the contact card, it has their basic stats on there.
Well, this trained unit has a move of 7, so that's probably not correct.
That does not seem correct. In fact, I know it's not correct. They're not quite that good.
Let me check the other cards, because I'm wondering, I mean, these aren't even... Militia's 4, Hired Guns 5, supposedly, on these beta cards.
Yep.
Street Thug is 3.
So, the train, it's 4 for the train guys.
Okay. 4 inches down for train.
I wish it was 7.
Oh. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they're just heading out. So that's their move, and then they can take a combat.
Yes. So what they're gonna do is they will. They're just gonna hold Overwatch. The up 4 units don't have as many of like the sneaky maneuvers that a breacher does. So I don't have like my move tactical for them.
Gotcha.
So they're just gonna walk. They're just gonna hold Overwatch. They're just kind of ready for you to be showing up somewhere.
Put these red dice here as Overwatch dice. Okay, that's the end of round 1. Is there rounds technically?
Yeah, yep. So this would be the end of the turn. So we go into the second turn. We would check to see if we need to change the contact deck at all, but we haven't had any units added. Nobody's died. One of the things that you can do with momentum is that you can basically take a combat stim, and for 1 turn you add an adrenaline card into the deck that just gets immediately shuffled in. And that when you draw that, it will let you take 1 combat or a movement maneuver. So it gives you an extra 1 for the turn.
I can do that now?
Well, that would be during your activation.
Oh,
so
I see.
When you go this turn, you will be able to add in 1 if you wanted to. Yeah, that guy.
Okay, cool. I have now shuffled. And do we roll for initiative again?
Yep, we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative again.
Okay. Once again, I am white, you are red. You got 10, and I got a 2.
Great.
So you win again.
So I'm going to gain a momentum point, so I'm going to be up to 5.
Yes.
And then I'll look at the top 2 cards.
All right. We have Watch Hand and not Watch Hand.
So I think this time I'm going to have Watch Hand on top.
Watch Hand on top.
Watch
Okay.
Hand
I'm
on
not
top.
going to look at the stream because it's 10 seconds behind, and it would ruin the mystery. All right. You want initiative, so you pull first.
Yeah, so I would draw the card first, and really it doesn't matter. You can have somebody just do all the drawing, but it's a nice way to get everybody interacting, going back and forth, being a piece of it.
Put me on top, then. Curious.
So by in this case, now that we've sort of seen what's happening, now I get to kind of force you to go, and I can react to that.
All right, so first move, 5 inches. I'm inside of the shipping crate here.
Okay.
And now come up to this wall. Let me get a shot of what's going on over here. There. And grab this close-up camera.
And the breacher's sending himself UPS to another country.
I am breaching the shipping.
He's looking for DLB books.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna go right there. Let's get a little close-up action. Yeah, loving it. And I'm gonna roll to see if I can get through that second door, huh?
Yeah, or we could just say from the inside, maybe you can just open it.
Let's see what this roll does. It's a 1, a nat 1. Natural.
Dude, you are so good at opening cargo doors.
If only I did anything else. Alright. There I am. Okay, that's my turn.
All right.
Then next card.
Do you want to? This would be the time if you wanted to spend the momentum point. Do you want to add an adrenaline card in?
I kind of do, because I potentially can cover. I can take another walk-in movement action, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do that. So I take this adrenaline A and I put it into the.
You're going to shuffle it. You're going to shuffle it in right now.
Do I shuffle the entire
and that
deck?
costs you. Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that can be
like
super helpful.
So you knew that whatever the second card was, and now you don't.
I did. Yep, I did.
All right. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. All right. Next card is Breacher.
I can tell you that is not what it was before.
Oh, okay. Let us. I'm gonna take another 5 inches here. This camera. I really wish they had
I can't really see what the building looks like exactly on that side because I'm overhead. But it might be worth running in a straight line to the building would give you 10 inches of movement off of that run. And you can make one up to 190-degree turn in there too, so I don't know how you might want to use that, but a run at this point, because you're not in my Overwatch, might get you where you kind of want to go.
I think it does, and I'm going to give you a little bit of... Put these down before I break those.
And it does limit what kind of attacks you can make, but if you're not planning on shooting right now, then...
No.
You know, the run might be the play. And people watching might be like, oh my gosh, look at how quickly he's moving, and he's going to be able to kind of outmaneuver the Op4. The combat in this is not scaled so that the Op4 do less damage. They may have lower skill values, but the weapons they use have all of the same fire modes and damage output as what the Breacher has. So the Breacher has to be very careful with when and how they maneuver and engage.
All right, so I'm heading towards this ladder. I don't know if that was obvious or not.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's back there. Sweet.
Ah. Okay.
So you did your run.
Yeah, now I can do like a combat.
Took you to there. Yeah, now you can use your combat with the tactical movement and get 2 more inches. And if for some reason I was to come around the corner, you would be harder to hit. You'd be able to utilize cover better.
Sneaker icon right here. So does that go away at the end of the round after I run? Or my next activation, I guess?
Which one?
Running harder to hit thing.
Oh yeah, that'll go away. Actually now, I believe, because you moved into tactical movement, so you're no longer running.
Oh,
so
okay.
It'll go away now.
Okay. Next card, huh?
Yeah. How cool would it be if it was your adrenaline card?
It's not. It's trained. It's you.
All right, so you're running and sprinting around.
Do you hear my sneakers? Squeak, squeak.
Yeah, your wet dress shoes
Yeah.
coming over the canoe.
Slosh, squeak. I slipped on
your
some.
Little gloopy. We see your little gloopy footprints out on the blacktop.
Suspicious.
Is there a door on the side that has my three guys?
No, there is not. It is boarded up windows all on that side. There is a door on the southern side right here.
Okay, then I think what we'll do is we will move. Are those barricades 1 inch or less?
Yeah, and they should be like that, really. It's supposed to prevent traffic from going in.
Because you can just move over stuff that's 1 inch or less. You can just like straddle it, hop over it. So yeah, we'll take our little 4-inch move that way.
Okay. And I'm measuring from the guy that gets you the farthest, and then just tagging the other two behind him. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we got 4 inches there. Do they lose their Overwatch?
They do, but they're going to pick it up again because they don't have another thing to do right now on their combat maneuver. So they're going to they're just moving cautiously and kind of patrolling and waiting.
Okay. And then back to the adrenaline.
So now that'll give you one or the other. So you can take a combat maneuver or a movement maneuver with that.
Climbing ladders, how does that work?
That's just going to be because it's a climbable surface. I'm sure we would both agree it's climbable. You can just do your movement normally up it.
Can I run up a ladder? That probably doesn't sound right.
You cannot run up a ladder.
So it's 2 inches to the ladder, 4 inches up the ladder.
So you could do tactical movement first. You could take your combat maneuver.
Oh, that's right. I can do them in different orders, and then take 4.
So
and
you
then
can
1
do
inch.
2 to there, and then do your regular 5-inch move up. Yeah, your stream frame is weird.
What?
You've got like a breacher overlay
What?
over
What happened?
the thing.
What happened? When did that happen? Okay.
You broke it.
I'm up there. I'm doing it. I'm doing the things. Now, overhead. Back to you, huh? Yeah. Last card trained.
So I think what we're gonna do, my two guys are gonna turn around.
Okay. Is that part of a move, or and do
Yes.
they?
So even if you don't, changing your facing is always a movement, even if you don't move. So we're gonna turn around, and I think actually I'm gonna have them move. They'll turn and they'll move their 4 inches back.
Okay. They have to come around to your side of the table, I think, in order to do this.
And then they're gonna hold Overwatch on that back door.
That's menacing. That's a fun angle.
We'll see.
Right there. See if I can. Okay. So go in there. Ooh, I wonder if I can get the camera through this little transom window.
Now I remember that from the OG DLB streams when you guys would like set up the perfect little shot.
I need a little.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, man. Now that's the end of that round. We're gonna switch over and do some shuffling, and the adrenaline goes away.
Yeah. So So we are gonna flip over. Adrenaline is just for that turn. Schnitzel, they can move. But when Op 4 activate, they have to take a movement maneuver followed by a combat maneuver, where breachers are able to sort of mix and match. So, like, he could, in theory, kick the door open this turn, do some shooting next turn if he were to draw first, and then be able to move out of the way before I'd get a chance to kind of shoot back. I have to chase him down.
All right, roll for initiative, huh?
Yes, the old roll for initiative.
I got a 5 and you got a 10. So you once again.
Excellent. This might be where I'm going to need I might need this.
Would you like to look at... So you're looking at the top. You gain it. You're up to 6 momentum, by the way.
Yeah, and that's going to be like... I'm going to be able to play with that soon. It's going to be good.
And then
As
you
Ben
have
would say, remember, we're going to let it bark.
watch hand and not watch hand.
I think what I would like to do... Man, I don't know. Let's do watch... watch hand on top. Yeah, we'll do watch hand on top.
And we will draw it in 3, 2, 1. It's you. It's you. You want to take this initiative. All right, what are you going to do? What is your plan, huh?
I'm going to have my guys move that are inside, my little 2-man thing. Yeah. They're going to move 4 inches forward, and then they're going to hold Overwatch.
They're just creeping forward, guns trained on the door.
Yeah, I must have heard you like crawling up the ladder.
Yeah. There's a particular rusty squeak that they know of.
It's that kid on the bike. So the idea too is that because this is sort of like near future, there's a lot of things like drone technology, things like that. Like people have access to a lot of battlefield knowledge.
Yeah, it's that stylized sort of like, oh, we're cutting edge mafia drug runners. We got this drone that's giving us intel all the time in the skies, sort of thing.
Yeah, and these guys are trained. So these are like the best, not the best, hired guns are. That's what you get.
All right.
These guys are good.
Next card is me. You better believe you know what I'm about to do right here.
I have a feeling.
I'm going to shoot the hostage.
Okay, I was completely wrong.
All right. I am going to go up to this door. All right, so I need to move. It's 2 inches to the door, basically. Oh, we also used to have little door handles on all of our kits. That's something that we've gotten rid of. I need to spend an action to open up the door.
No, you don't. If you want to, you can, in heroic action, as part of your move action, you can choose to kind of dive through that if you want.
I basically want to bust through this door and start shooting.
All right, so you're going to move up to the door.
Oh, wait.
You're going to make a...
Could I shoot through the door?
Yeah, absolutely. You could do that. I mean, there's windows right there. Yeah, you can.
Because that would still give me a little cover, right?
Yes, you would also have cover. So it may be worth doing a tactical movement. So this is one of the ones that for the breacher, he has tactical movement in both his regular movement and his combat one. So you get a lot of play in there.
Nice.
So you could probably tactically move up to that door. So you're gaining an additional point of armor from it.
Love it.
And now, as your combat maneuver, you have there's some different types of fire modes, and the weapon that you have, the medium assault rifle, is capable of taking precise shots, which is one single more accurate shot. You can also do semi-auto, and because you're using a lighter round, you have semi-auto 3, which means that you can take up to 3 shots with that action. Or you can go full auto, which allows you to basically pour fire at one individual target. But since there's 2 guys, you might want to do semi-auto 3, The Assault Breacher's specialty rule is that once per turn, so that would include all of your activations, but once per turn, you can choose to add an additional 1 to your semi-auto rating. So you could, through that door right now, fire 4 times.
Yeah.
And you can choose, and you don't have to predetermine. So you could start shooting at one of them, and then say you kill them on the first shot. You can put all 3 into the next one, or maybe it takes you 2 for the first one. You can put 2 into the next one. However, that ends up working.
This sounds like the sort of thing that I want to do. So
that sounds very much like the thing you want to do. And the Sheik is like, what is going on?
Just like glass exploding past his head. Just but
I have Overwatch.
Oh, you do, yes.
So this is where we are ready for you to be at that door. You're ready to be at that door. So Overwatch is going to allow me to make. It tells me what kind of attacks I can make from Overwatch. I can do a precise shot, semi-auto 1, a burst, or an auto attack. So my guys, you're definitely going to be within my medium range band. And in my front 90-degree arc, and I'm going to be at an additional -2. So if you could go ahead and measure the distance from my guys to your breacher.
It's going to be about 6 inches.
Okay, so if I look at my guys with their assault rifle, my short range band is 1 to 12 inches, and you said we're at what range?
6 inches.
Okay, great. So all ranged weapons have a short, a medium, and a long range band. It'll tell you what inches it is. So the assault rifle is 1 to 12, and then they have different penalties or bonuses to hit. So at short range, I actually get a +1. But because I'm on Overwatch, I'm at -2. You are up to 50% concealed by the door. So we said it's cover level 1, but it also provides you some concealment. So that's another -2 for me to hit.
Okay.
And I have my +1 for being in short range band. So I'm at a -3 total, this attack. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and semi-auto 3 at you because I'm also using assault rifles.
So your ranged combat is 11, but it's minus, what was that number? Minus how many?
3.
All right, so
-3 total.
You're looking for 8s or unders?
I'm looking for 8 and under.
Okay, first one on a D20 is a 12.
Let me check one more thing real quick.
Just posted a little shot in the Discord.
And so here's the other thing for people who are like, oh my god, these guys are going to fire 3 times each. Each, with the semi-auto ranged attack, each additional shot beyond the first adds another -2 as you're getting the recoil in there as well. Ooh. So the first one missed, and you said I needed an 8, right?
Yep, so now it's a 6.
So now it's going to be a 6 for the second shot.
Ooh, natural 1.
So that's not great. So I automatically miss, and my weapon is also out of ammo. So he gets marked with an out of ammo token.
Wait, natural 1? I thought you were...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a 20.
20. So natural 1, I hit regardless of the modifiers. And now the damage for the medium assault rifle is D6 plus 1, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep, D6 plus 1. So with a natural 1... it basically gains the devastating special, which means I get to roll twice and pick the best outcome. So I'm going to roll 2d6, pick the best one, and add 1.
That's good, because the first d6 was a 1.
Okay.
Second d6 was a 4.
So with my +1, that becomes a 5. Yep. You have 2 points of armor as your breacher, and you have 1 point of armor from the door. But you tactically moved, so you're also like maybe using the door frame, doing a little bit more peeking. You get another point of armor on there, so you actually have 4. So I do 1 point of damage to your breacher.
And do I have wounds? Yeah, okay.
And the breacher, your particular breacher has 20, I believe. misses total.
Yeah. Okay, I've marked that
My
point down.
guys, and just in comparison, my guys, I believe, are 7. They only have 7. So that was his 3 attacks, correct?
No, that was only the second attack. You still have one more.
Oh, I still have one more. So that one's going to be at 4 now. Wasn't that one at 6?
That was 8, 6, and that's a 13. Unlucky.
Okay,
More ways than one.
so he misses.
Yeah.
The other important thing is that different types of attacks can also accumulate, they're called low ammo tokens, and those build up over time, and every attack also has a roll value that would cause you to ammo out. So op4 are always a 19 or a 20, they automatically ammo out. And then they can get low ammo tokens that add to that range. So eventually you will run out of ammo.
All right, do I need
So
to...
now we have the second guy. He's going to do the same thing.
Ah, okay. Back down to here. All right, first
So
one.
he's going to be an 8, a 6, and then a 4.
That is a 9 for the first roll.
Yep, misses.
A 15 for the second.
Good job, guys. You're trained.
An additional 9 for the third. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, so we just blast a whole bunch of ammo in there. None of those are adding. Just double check. Semi-auto. And they automatically get. Each one automatically gets 1 low ammo token for that attack. So that means next time they would fire, they would be at an 18 to 20. They would then 17 and so on. Precise shot never adds them. So if you're choosing to just do 1 accurate shot, then you can kind of shoot forever.
All right. So that was...
So that's them. They've done their thing. Oh, those are cool.
That kind of like interrupted my turn, right? Because I moved and that was
Yes.
your Overwatch triggering.
Mm-hmm. And
My
now
turn.
you get to do your semi-auto 4.
All right, and I'm looking at... I have a combat value of 14.
Yep.
Is there any modifiers to that?
Yes, because you're using an assault rifle. You also get +1 because you're in short range.
Okay, so 16 or under. Nope, sorry, 15 or under.
And then let me just double check your equipment
real
quick.
Uh,
You have a laser sight, +1 bonus to your close range band.
so that's 16 or under.
Yep, and your suppressor isn't going to help right now because you're not taking a precise shot. You're kind of going loud here.
I like this. I like this setup, this loadout.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the Ben made the gun, so it's easy to just put the things on it.
Tried the
All right,
Saints.
so yeah, you are ready to rock and roll.
This model count, I have the Breacher, and then Matt here is playing the Op for. Right now, he has allocated his squad. He's got 5 models. There's 2 up here that I'm shooting at, an additional 3 down here that are trying to get up to me. And he's got 4 in the wings. So once you get all your models on, potentially, it would be 9 versus 1. And I just have the hero Breacher, right? I say the hero. I have my Breacher right here, and the hostage that I'm trying to save. So I am at 16 or under 4 shots. Right?
Yeah. So you can choose, and again, you don't have to, like a lot of games, you'd have to assign your shots ahead of time.
Yeah.
You do not have to do that in this. So you can choose the guy you want to shoot. Then you can. So the other thing with semi-auto that's important is that when you spread out your shots, that the other model has to be within, I believe it's 3 inches.
Yeah, you have to be
of
like
the next
within
target.
you can't like shoot and then over here. Makes sense.
Yeah.
First,
You could if I had them in a line of 3, you could transfer from one to the next. But yeah, you have to be sort of controlling what you're doing.
first shot was an 11. So that hits.
So that will hit, and I am not benefiting from either being obstructed or cover right now. So my guys are well armored. They do have 2 armor.
So
One of the things that you can do with momentum, there's a momentum ability called stacked mags,
yeah.
where you can choose to essentially shoot specialty ammo. And as the assault breacher, if you use stacked mags, you spend a momentum to do it. If you kill me with that attack, then you gain a momentum back.
So this is
And there is armor piercing, which reduces your damage by 1. But if you roll a 9 or less to hit, so you would have to do this normally before you roll to hit. If your roll to hit was a 9 or less, then you would ignore all of my armor.
okay. So you can
And
really.
that includes like if I was in a door or getting cover bonuses, you would ignore all of it.
So there's like a ton of customization on the breacher side. Like you wanted the
And
breacher
I can
to.
do that as well. I
Oh,
should
okay.
have done that and didn't think about it, but I can also use stacked mags as op for. And I should have done that, but I didn't.
Well,
There's hollow points, and there's also tracer rounds that you can use.
so I've got D6 plus 1 damage on this first guy, right?
Yep. And I'm going to subtract 2 from my natural armor to a minimum of 1. Armor always is to a minimum of 1.
Rolled a 3, so that's a 4 minus 2. 2 wounds.
So now that guy's down to so he's down to 5 left. They have the trained guys have 7. The poor street thug guys, I believe, are 4. They get trashed pretty easily and don't have armor.
Okay, so that's 2 points on him. Next shot, does my number go down by 2?
Subtract 2.
So 14 or under for the second.
Yes.
It is either a 12 or a 2. I think I wanted to stay on the
Great.
12. So that hits. Here we go. 3 again. So that's another 2
So
points.
it'll do another 2 to him.
I'm just going to keep plugging that guy.
I mean, I would at this point. Just want to kill him.
I needed 16, 14 or under, 12 or under, and I rolled an 11, so that hits. Another 3, that's all I can roll on this dice. So that's up to...
There is... So what are you at right now? He's at 4 damage left?
He had 3 damage. I did 2 points and 2 points. So he had 3 wounds left, and I just did an additional 2.
So one of the things that you can do as a breacher, you could spend one momentum point for clean shot, and you can add 2 to the damage roll after the damage has been rolled for a melee or ranged attack. It can only be used once per damage roll.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend my last momentum. I'm going to add 2, and that pops him up over to 8 points out of his 7.
Yep. So then, and you're going to lay him down. So it's also important for some, they're called specialty trainings, but you can spend your cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But you can take one that's called Scavenger, and you can basically get reloads and things off of down models. So
That's
you kind of
cool.
want to leave them on the table.
All right. Now I got 1 shot left, and this is at a 16, 14, 12. This is a 10 or under on the last guy here.
Yes. Yep.
It is a 17. So that one does not hit.
That one goes wide.
Yeah.
And as the breacher, you are also going to gain 1 low ammo token because you used the semi-auto attack action. So your guy's going to gain 1 of those as well.
All right. That was my turn. Now we flip a card. Right?
Yes. I'm just checking to make sure that your precise shots. I'm sorry, semi-auto. You ammo out on a 19 or a 20. Cool.
We drew the second breacher card.
Ugh. All right. I think we know where this is going.
Yeah. Is it cool or worthless for me to kick open the door before I start firing the rest of the shots?
Well, if you want to move in and shoot so that you'd be better able to get out next turn, you could do the tactical movement as your movement maneuver. And because you're at the door, if you make a technical roll, you essentially dive through. But if you fail, then you will take some damage and you can end your turn.
Oh, because it'd be cool to just like boop, 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 and then just like bust through the door, do a roll, and then just like bop, bop, bop. You know, like
I totally agree.
That'd be pretty cool.
Totally
I'm gonna try it.
I'm all about the cool.
I'm gonna try it. All right, so
And people who know my writing, that's like really important to me, is that you have options to be able to do things like that.
All right, my technical is 11, so pretty good. A little bit over 50-50. Let's see how it goes. The 14 does not happen.
All right.
So I try to shoulder my
so
way through the door.
So you do still get through, you still smash through, but if the test is failed, the model takes 2 damage and its movement is stopped directly on the other side of the window or door, and you are marked prone.
You know what? I like it.
Which also in this instance is not necessarily a bad thing.
I like the idea that shooting through the door weakened it, and I fell through the door as it splintered out from under me.
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so
here's the thing.
face planted.
So here's the bonus of that in this instance is that you, when you are prone, you get +2 to your ranged combat skill. So now that you are laying on the floor, you are actually like braced on the floor.
I have a little prone marker actually. Use that so I don't break the second model.
And you also, well, you're not firing at long range, but with a bipod on your rifle that you have, you gain a +1 bonus to your long range band when you are prone.
It was intentional. Okay, so I'm prone, and that ends my turn, and then we draw a card, and it is your second one.
Okay, this is tough. How close are my guys to the front door there? Can they get in? Are they going to be able to see up there? Like, I don't really know what that situation kind of looks like under there.
They have a 4-inch movement.
Yes.
They could definitely get to the door with their movement. Do we want to assume the doors are open?
No, I mean, I'm assuming that they would have this place locked down.
Yeah. So
maybe we would have a key, but I'm not worried about that. Why don't we move? Yeah, we'll just move to the door. We'll kind of firing line in the front of the door, and then as our movement, and then we'll interact as our combat maneuver. And our technical is not very good.
They're trained, they're just not trained.
Our technical is a 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're 10.
That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah, because you're not that great at that.
Okay,
so,
well,
it seems like they're pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's get a little low shot of them getting through this door potentially. Let's see what happens, huh?
Yeah.
It is a 6.
All right. So they must have actually had the key.
Yep. And those doors creak open.
Yeah. One dude's like, kick it in, and the other dude's like, dude, we got a key. Let's just go in.
All right. They can't see him quite yet, though. That position.
All right.
Is that in their turn?
Yep. They're all done. So they moved up. They interacted with their combat maneuver. Good to go.
All right. And now we do some shuffling. Are we going to stop?
Let's stop. Oh, we need to roll initiative.
Yep.
Because you could, if you win, you've got some choices to make.
I have not won a single roll. You have won yet again.
Excellent. So then I'll look at the top 2.
And you gain another momentum.
Yeah.
You're at 7 momentum.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, yeah, we're gonna do some fun stuff so people at home can see what we can do here.
Watching? Not watching.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at something else. Let's go ahead and do watch hand first.
That is trained. That's you. Okay. What do we got, Chief?
I think we're going to have the guys on the bottom floor with their movement maneuver are going to run along kind of the left side of that first floor to head towards the stairs.
All right. What's their run? Twice their movement?
Yep, so they're going to go 8. They're going to run 8.
I'm going to move this floor just so I can get better access for a moment. 8. Are they going to climb up the stairs, or are they going to have to go all the way around?
So climb is a movement thing, so I think what we're going to do is just run because that's over an inch high, so we're just going to run for the stairs.
Alright. We'll go single file around this outside edge.
Yeah, because we can make up to 190-degree little turn in there, so we'll go up, move to go along that side.
Not quite enough for bases in there. You're on the ground floor. Sorry. 8 inches. Okay.
And then,
Actually,
what
let me
I
put
would
you.
like to...
It's gonna be the same if I do it over here, anyways. Same movement stuff.
I think what I'm going to do is spend one of my momentum points. So
Okay.
I can spend up to 3 on my turn. Or 2, I'm sorry. I can spend up to 2. You can spend up to 3.
Alright.
I'm going to use 1 to put an alarm at the bottom of the ladder. So I'm going to put it would be a 25mm token.
Alright.
And I'm going to put it at the bottom of your ladder. The back. So you must have avoided it on the way up, luckily. And what that will do is when an enemy model moves within 4 inches of an alarm trap, they must make a perception skill check at -2. If they pass, the trap is removed. If they fail, the Op4 may immediately add 1 militia-trained model with a close range weapon.
Ooh.
Outside of 4 inches of the enemy unit and remove the trap token. The model counts as coordinated unit for all related purposes.
Alright, so
yes.
is that your turn?
Yeah, yep. So my guys moved in. I spent 1 of my points on my trap.
The next one is a breacher for me, as you knew.
Yeah.
And as the audience knew, but I did not. And I'm prone still up here. And I'm just gonna plug away. I can just plug away, right?
Yeah.
So,
So once per turn, you can use your once per turn. Oh, you also gained a momentum back because you killed that guy with
the momentum
using stacked mags.
So, is there a way that I can just like boom, one shot, one and done this guy?
You can.
Is there like?
Has he taken? He's taken some damage already, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't had any yet.
Oh, you missed with that attack. So you could do a precise shot. So the unit makes a single ranged attack at +2 damage. But it's 1 single shot.
I like that.
But you'll be at +2 because you're in close range band. 1 for the gun, 1 for your laser sight.
Yeah.
And you could, in theory, then spend your point if you needed to on clean shot and add 2 damage afterwards. So you might potentially be able to just drop this guy.
I like that. I busted the door, hit the ground. Boom! Right there. It's an 8. That hits.
That hits, and also with a precise shot, I'm also shaken now. On a to hit roll of 1 to 8, I become shaken.
Oh, you're all wavery. Shaken.
I'm like, oh my god, stop shitting at me!
So now I can add that 2 points after I roll damage, right?
Yes, yep. So you can see if you just kill me outright already.
Oh boy. Roll a 5. So that's 5 plus 1 plus 2.
6. Yep. So yeah.
7, 8. Boom.
So that would be 8. I still have 2 points of armor, which goes to 6.
So I need to spend the
momentum.
momentum.
You can spend your point on clean shot and then take him out.
All right, I'll do it. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to clear
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty sweet.
That's
And now, so here's the thing: is that you are prone. You'll have to spend your movement maneuver
to stand up.
To get up from prone. Yeah, you can crawl a couple of inches while prone, but it might be while you still are not under fire at this point to maybe stand up so you can run away.
Yeah, and my low ammo token just like hangs out with me.
Yes, yep. And you, with a precise shot, you don't gain a low ammo token because you're just taking one shot. You're not expending a lot of ammunition.
Cool. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Time to flip a card, huh? How does the hostage movement work? Like, am I just like leading this guy away?
Yep. He's just gonna hang out with you. He's kind of nebulous for the most part in the
Okay, all right. So once I get to him, he just jumps in my pocket.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
The hostage moves with the breacher model and stays in contact with the breacher model. If the breacher unit is killed, the hostage stays where the breacher is removed from the table. If using more than one breacher unit, it may be recovered by another breacher unit moving in contact.
Man, I just cycled through like all of the other slides that aren't relevant, but we're good. Okay, so I'm going to stand up and that's it. We flip a card now. Here we go. It's Breacher. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
perfect for you.
Okay, hear me out. Do I get points for killing your guys?
No. You're gonna get your cryptocurrency for winning the operation by getting the Sheik out and destroying. You could earn extra ones for destroying the secondary objectives.
Can I jump?
But just straight murdering my guys doesn't give you like additional cryptocurrency.
Can I jump through windows?
You can.
How does that work? If I'm on the second story.
All right. I mean, let's do this. So it would be the same thing that we just did.
A technical ability.
It would be dive through the thing. So you'd make a technical skill roll.
Okay.
If it's successful, the model moves to the window or door and continues movements as normal. If you fail, you're going to take damage and fall. So a model diving through a window or door from elevation counts as jumping.
Oh, okay. And then jumping is it half my move? No, 3 inches across.
Well, it's jumping.
Okay, 1 to 3 inches, a unit takes 0 damage. 4 to 9 inches, the unit takes 1 damage per inch fallen. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
How many inches is this window? 4.5. So it would definitely give me 1 damage per inch fallen. So it'd give me 4 damage.
It would. And if you fail the technical roll also, you'll take 2 more damage as you like fumble out the window. The Sheik, on the other hand, just like spreads his robes wide and like apparently paraglides down with you. He'll be okay.
It's because I wrap him up and then like turn at the last second.
Like, he lands on you. That's where your 2 damage comes from.
Yeah. Okay. Now hold on. What if I'm looking at this suspiciously conveniently placed? Let me give you a close-up shot here.
I'm ready for this. I'm ready to see the close-up.
Specifically conveniently placed pile of pallets that are right under the window I'm at. Can they break my fall? Can I Assassin's Creed my way into some rusty pallets?
Well, I would say that would reduce the distance that you've.
Okay.
So you would land on that instead of the level below. So it might. Does that take you to a 1 to 3?
No, still 4. Still 4 inches. So.
Okay. Well then, no. Landing on those pallets is not going to be super helpful. But if they did take you to that 0 to or the 1 to 3 range, you would dive out and take no damage.
Man, if only this dumpster was conveniently placed, that'd be so. I could jump through the window, fall into the dumpster, Assassin's Creed style, while holding my Sheik, Assassin's Creed style, and then. All right, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to run with my movement, so I can go 10 inches, right?
Yep.
Is there any point in looting the bodies at this point for me?
Moving the bodies?
Looting them? Could I get gold?
No. No. You don't get gold for that. And you currently don't have the specialty training to kind of loot them.
Yeah. I'm gonna run 10 inches, and then I can run 2 inches, right? With my...
Yeah, you could tactically move 2, and you would remove your run token, though.
I'm feeling pretty good about what I'm about to do. Your turn.
Oh, man. What turn are we on?
I think I've drawn...
Still has some geisha in him, so you're asking to loot the things. What turn are we on? I'm sorry. What did you say?
I think we're on turn... I've drawn 3 times now? Maybe 4. I think we're on round 4.
Alright, so I've still got a ways before my reinforcements can show up.
Now, I would say that it's not metagaming that you heard my very loud footsteps on the creaky wooden floor above your people.
Plop, 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 plop.
As I went from this side of the building, and the water drops dripping from my suit, just you saw them go this way.
If they were to climb up onto that middle landing, could they shoot you in the back?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty well covered. Yeah. I think you'd have to make it to the top of this.
All right, we'll run for the door.
You're gonna turn around 8 inches towards the door.
Yeah, we're gonna be like out of breath. We're like, stop it.
Oh yeah, 8 inches. Oh, metal miniatures, they're good. I mean, you can like clear the door. You want to clear the door? I mean, you'd be all the way out here.
Oh, Schnitzel said try to shoot through the floor and not hit the hostage. Okay, so yeah, run me under the floor where I'm hearing your footsteps. Because this exists in the game. We can do this right now.
Alright, so I'm like right here. So I think you can
run my 3 dudes underneath underneath you.
It's gonna be about 5 inches of movement to get there.
Yes. We'll do this just for the funsies of being able to see some of the stuff that you can do.
I'm loving this. I'm loving it. All right, let me go over here. Let me see if I can get this angle of what's about to. I think this is. This is a somewhat modern military game in which I'm about to jump through a window with a hostage in order to save them. And your guys are just running underneath me, about to blind fire up through floorboards.
Very like Hero said, it's super cinematic. So this is like almost like in Die Hard when you're in the air vent. We could be like underneath it, just like shooting up through the air vent at you.
Plugging away.
So there's a rule in here called targeting a fully obscured unit. And there's some special rules for this. Obviously, you can't just do it everywhere. So the enemy model has to be within half of my short range band. So I don't know exactly how high that is. You should be within 6 inches.
Yeah, it's like 4 inches. Each floor is like 4 inches.
So I can shoot up to 6 inches away, and you also have to be within 3 inches of the other side, and you are because you're standing on it. It has to be cover rating 1 or 2 to be targeted. So this is wood, so I can do that because that falls into the level 1 cover. And then I make it at a -8 ranged combat skill. Which is not likely. So it's basically fully obscured, the fully obscured penalty, and then another -4 on that. So it's basically like being heavily obscured twice in addition.
Okay. So how many? So what are we? I'm rolling d20. What's your target?
So I have a 8, I believe. Is that right? You can look on their card. Am I in 8 ranged or 11 ranged combat with them?
Yeah,
I think
11.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's an 11.
And then let me look at my combat maneuvers because I'm already just full auto through it. No, we're going to go ahead and we're going to semi-auto through it. That's exactly what we want to do. So I'm going to gain an additional low ammo token.
Okay. Well, you haven't gained.
Oh, they don't have any yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. That was the other unit that's very dead.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my semi-auto shots. Oh, wait, but I'm going to be cumulative. For each of these, I'm already... Did you say I'm at 11? What's my hit? I'm sorry.
Starting at 11. Starting at 11.
I'm starting at 11.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to do a burst fire attack at you.
Okay.
So I'm going to make 1 attack, and it's going to become devastating. So if I do hit you, I roll damage twice and pick the best. I'm going to spend a momentum point to fire armor-piercing rounds up through the floor.
All right.
So then I need a 3. I believe it's what did we say? A 3 or less to be able to hit with my burst fire attack.
Rolled a 9.
Okay, so that misses. Next guy is going to do the same thing. He's going to need a 3 or less.
14.
Dang. And then the last guy is going to need a 3.
19.
All right, so not super exciting, but had I hit, because I'm rolling a 9 or less to begin with, I would have ignored your armor and been able to roll damage twice and choose the best one for their attacks. So not likely to happen, but you can indeed do stuff like this in the game.
Did you hit the hostage in the meantime?
No.
Okay. All right.
He's eye candy, because this is the kind of stuff I want people to do. I don't want people to shy away from having shootouts like this just because he's nearby. The civilians themselves kind of add that element.
So I didn't remove the trained card, the second one, whenever I downed your people.
Oh, yeah. So it would have gone away.
Yeah.
And then we would each be down to 1 card in here right now.
Yeah, so I actually... That movement and that I did, because I killed him on my first card. It was my second card that I drew that shouldn't have existed, actually.
Well, if it was this all in the same turn, did you kill them in the same turn?
Yeah, it was the same turn. Like I killed him.
Oh yeah, so then the cards don't go away until the end of the turn. So that's how the breacher gained some additional momentum. So they died this turn. But you still have your second activation in there, so you kind of build some tactical advantage by killing people.
Do you have
yours?
Still
get your cards in the turn.
Do you have yours though? Like, do I remove
so mine would be in there, but it gets drawn, and I can't activate the same train unit twice.
So it just burns it.
It's basically useless.
Understood.
So now, at the end of the turn, what we would do is look at what units still exist. So I have 1 trained. Which means that then you add in your 1 breacher card, breacher activation.
Yeah.
And now we'll get to play. So this is how you kind of keep the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
So that it's harder for one person to just run away with the game and with me.
All right. So now
this could be a good time where if you did win initiative and you got momentum points, you may want to take advantage of the adrenaline and combat stim. this turn.
Turn 4. Tell me when to stop shuffling.
Shuffle. That's it. Done.
Oh, okay. Rolling for initiative.
Yep. This would be a good place for you to get it.
It's a tie. 6 and a 6.
So what it goes down to next, the next level or the first level of tie breaking is the person with the most momentum points, which is me.
You. Okay.
And if it were to be tied again, then the person who had had initiative in the last turn keeps it.
All right. So watch hand, not watch hand.
I would like watch hand on the bottom, please.
All right, and we'll flip, and that's you. You're going first.
All right. So what?
Oh,
I'm
and you
going
gained
to
a
do
momentum.
is-
So you're back to 6 momentum, by the way.
Yeah, I'm at 1 billion momentum.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I'm going to do is spend a momentum point to put to place another trap token. I'm going to put a mine right in front of building with your breach point on the left there. Put it right in front, kind of behind that barricade.
Scoop. All right.
Perfect. Then I'm going to aim with my movement maneuver. And then I'm going to fire my burst attacks through the floor at you.
Again?
Again.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's cool.
It is very cool. Just unload. All right.
Yeah.
So D20, it is. What are we at? A 3?
And now I'm looking for a 6 or less because I've got my aim on this attack.
Gotcha. 6 or less for the first. It is a 19.
Oh, and I'm gonna spend my second point that I can this turn on armor piercing shots.
Gotcha. First one was a 19. Does not hit.
Yep.
Second one was a 13. Does not hit.
Getting closer.
Next one is a 14. Does not hit.
Oh, killing me here.
Yeah, I know. Breacher's turn.
Yep, breacher activation. So we're like chewing the floor up there. Now we can actually see you.
You see, it's that old bomber story from World War II where they would like keep patching up the bombers that came back with all the bullet holes because they thought those were like what were getting hit. It's like, nah, man, you need to look at where the bullets aren't. You need
yes, because that's the ones that didn't make it back.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got 1 inch to this window. I'm actually going to move. I'm going to move 4 inches to this window. Oh, to this window over here.
Don't break the ankles.
So Ben and I were like, hey, wouldn't it be a funny bit if I broke one of those ankles, like on stream immediately? But then we planned out the whole bit. I tried 3 times to just like fat finger break this miniature's ankles right there, and I couldn't. Which is why when I walked over, I just had to like snap it in my hands with force because I couldn't accidentally break this miniature's ankles.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is. But it's like the one time that I wanted to just like break an ankle of a miniature, nope, can't happen. All right, so move to this window, first action. Now I'm going to jump through it. I'm going to bust through it. So that's a technical roll, right?
Yep. 11 or less for you. -2 for jumping through.
Natural 20.
Ah, that's wonderful. So you are going to take the extra damage and you're going to land at the bottom and be prone.
So here is what I was going to be aiming for there. I was hoping that
It was a hard window.
I was hoping that I could. There's a little bit of an overlap here that I was hoping I could bust through the window in such cool style to land right here and then hop down safely. You know? that said, so I take 2 points of. Oh no. Oh no. I take 2 points of damage from going through the window poorly, right? And then I'll take an additional 4 points for the distance that I fell, right?
I like to think that you fell because we're like chasing behind you with the shots. They're like ripping through the floor behind you.
Yeah.
And before they hit you, you just have to like side dive out the window with the Sheik.
I mean, that's what I was thinking is going on here. All right, so that's 2 points through, 4 points for falling because it's 4 inches.
Yep.
So
and armor does not apply to falling.
my bulletproof armor doesn't protect me from gravity.
No, sorry.
All right, so that's gonna drop me down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. I've got 13 wounds left, which is 12
You're
more.
still doing pretty good.
12 more than Canty 2 needs. Should have gone with the rusty pallets. Yeah, that was the better strat for sure. All right, then my turn's ended, so now it's yours. No, it's the end of the round, I guess. All right, so that was turn.
And what turn are we on now? Is this 5?
This is 5, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop. And then let's roll some initiative. This is where you'd probably like to win again. I mean, every turn you'd probably like to win, but this is probably a good one.
I lost again.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a 2 and a 3.
All right. Well, let's set it up so that I can go first.
Yep.
And
Okay.
shoot you a lot. You fell right in the perfect spot.
Oh. Only 2 of your guys can see me. All 3 can see. All 3 of your guys can see me.
All right, then I think this is probably where we aim, and then we're just gonna like semi-auto at you here.
Okay. Put a target literally right on my back, right there. And here we go. Semi-auto. So, is there? Technically, I'm prone. So, am I harder to hit?
You are. You are harder to hit. So you're going to be a -2. I'm getting a +3 because of my aim. And then I'm going to be -2 for each consecutive shot. Are you concealed at all? Like by the wall? Like are you against that wall there? If
No.
you've got any cover as well, that would be another -2.
No, I'm like
I can't
basically
really tell
wide
from
open.
the camera angle.
No, I'm
Oh,
just
okay, great.
I'm just waiting for it. So
I love that.
what are we? What are we going for? What are we...
So I'm an 11, so I go up to a 14.
Yeah.
And then so my first shot will be at 14.
It's a
I'm
16.
sorry, 12 because you're prone.
It's a 16. Does not hit.
Okay.
Next
does
shot.
not hit. And then I'm gonna go to a 12.
That is a 7.
So that will hit.
D6 plus 1.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to. I should have said it before.
You can say it.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
You can say it.
It wouldn't have mattered because I didn't roll low enough, but I'm spending the point for armor piercing rounds.
Ah,
Try
okay.
to punch through your armor.
So this is 2 plus
so
1.
the damage is actually -1. It's just going to be straight up d6s, and then you're going to take 2 off.
Oh, so the D6 is 2, and then I took 2 off, so it's no damage?
It's always a minimum of 1.
Oh, okay. All right, and then the last guy here. Oh, a 2 on the hit.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So
Oh!
we like that.
And a 5 on the damage.
So 5 minus 2 is going to be 3, and I'm semi-autoing, so you are now shaken, which is important.
I am shook.
So I got a hit roll of 1 to 3. Yeah, you're shook. And that's that guy's 3 shots with semi-auto.
Wait.
Now the next guy will take his 3. And how many? So the important thing too for people who are kind of following along at home, the semi-auto value depends on the gun that you have. So some guns won't be able to shoot 3 times. Some may only be able to do 2. Some may not have semi-auto. It could only be burst or full auto or precise shots. So there's a lot of granularity and difference in the types of weapons that you choose.
All right, next guy. 17.
Yes.
A 9. That one hits.
Yeah, that one hits.
3 on the d6, minus 2, so 1 point.
Yep, and I didn't, and it didn't. Was it a 9 to hit? You said.
Yeah.
So that does ignore your armor. On a 9 or less, I ignore your armor.
Oh,
with
so
piercing rounds.
3. So is it a total of 3 points instead of?
Yeah, it's a total of 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, and then last shot. Is it 15? Does not hit. And then one more guy, right?
Yep, one more guy. Yeah, one more guy.
14. That hit?
14 does not hit.
Okay. 4. That one hits.
That does hit. And
Oh.
you don't get. So it does not ignore your armor though.
Okay.
Wait, did you say 4 or 14? I'm sorry.
It was a 4.
Looking at something and trying to be doing this at the same time.
The 4
so
hits.
it does ignore your armor.
Yeah, so 6 on the d6. So that's
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That was my last wound.
Oh, we gunned you down in the street.
That was 20 wounds right there. Let's throw out one more to see. A 2. You overkilled me by 5.
Yeah, great. Ripperoo on that one. That's what happens when you fall out the window in front of the trained hitman skull. I can't.
Man, can you imagine how cool that would have been?
Yeah, had you landed on the roof, yeah, that would have been.
I was gonna
that would have been cool.
Jump out, land here, hop down, open this up for cover, get the extra point while taking shots, and then just get on out of there. Perfect plan. It was a perfect plan.
So let's just play one turn so people can see. Like that was the pretty extreme. You fumbled and fell out the window and got shot up. Let's just do one round of you being behind that barricade so people can see like the breacher have one more round of kind of their damage output and kind of what he's capable of. So
all right, so
I think it would be kind of a cool way to end that. If you're all right with that.
I'm fine with that. Let's alternate universe. This is one of those movies where it turns out there's multiple universes, and the first scene that we saw was the guy who wasn't good. But we're actually following the guy who is very lucky, and it cuts to this. Let's go down to gameplay camera.
Didn't go well.
All right, damage output for my breacher. Well, my hostage is huddling behind me. Get this back. That's all right. So, how do I deal the damage?
If you wanted to do the maximum amount of killage, so we also opted to leave out grenades this game because that was just another element we wanted to explore later.
Yeah.
Your kit would allow you to take two equipment slots worth of grenades. So there's a whole bunch of different mixes, but for one slot you could take an offensive grenade, and that would be perfect for a situation like this. It has a 3-inch blast template. You would be able to maybe chuck a grenade in, especially when somebody has coordinated units like this. Grenades are fantastic. You could throw white phosphorus, flashbangs, smoke, all kinds of stuff. So one way a breacher is able to deal with coordinated units like this is to throw grenades. The assault breacher, your particular class, we did it earlier, but being able to take the semi-auto attack action and then once per turn adding another shot of semi-auto in there, that would probably be right now would be your best bet. Would be to mix, maybe even mix in spending your point on clean shot again. But
Yeah.
I think you could probably rough these guys up pretty good.
So, grenade. Starting
Do
with
you
a
want
grenade.
to do one? You want to do a grenade?
I do. You said grenade a few times, and I felt like I have this blast template ready to go that I can just put right on top of all of these guys.
And it is a pretty. So I kind of wanted to go into this with just looking at the simpler elements of Breacher for people to see, but this is a big tactical asset for the Breacher, is being able to have access to different types of grenades. So you can throw a grenade, your 1/2 your technical skill plus 2 inches.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Okay, great. And then let's just go with the standard offensive grenade is a 3-inch template. So you would go ahead and make a technical skill roll to throw your grenade accurately. And you could aim.
I rolled a 13, so I'm going.
Okay. So if you aim, you would be able to hit. You would hit with your grenade.
Yeah.
So now what it does is each individual target in there is hit for 3d3 damage, and the unit that are hit under this are automatically shaken. And we can take a look at what shaken does as well, because that's a pretty big deal.
All right, so 3d3. So I will roll 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. That's 3, 3, and 1. So that's 7 on the first guy. So he's dead.
So that would do 5 immediately to him because he does get his armor.
Oh, my beat.
So so he's going to take 5, which he only has 7 total.
Next guy. That does 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minus 2. That does 6 damage to him.
Mm-hmm.
And last guy. Not as good. 2, 3, 4, 2 damage. 5, 6, and 2 damage to those 3.
5, 6, and 2, which then immediately kind of puts that, which is the biggest asset of my FOP points, my force organization points, now puts them into, if you were to get another activation, maybe next turn or whatever, where you could do your semi-auto 4 and probably pick them off pretty easily.
Yeah, because
and shaken is pretty important. When a unit is shaken, they get a shaken token. When a unit with a shaken token they gain the following penalties: -4 to skill tests, so that includes their ranged combat, and they're also -1 to movement. They can be removed with a recover maneuver. The penalty does not command rolls. Okay, a unit may have more than 1 shaken token, but the penalty only applies once. And for Op4 units, the Op4 player may spend 1 momentum point to remove all instances of shaken from an individual coordinated unit when it activates. So I'd have to spend 1 of my momentum to unshakeify them.
Yeah.
But while they're shaken, they get some pretty hefty penalties for that. They're slower, can't obviously attack as well. So grenades are a huge asset to the Breacher. Smoke is really good because it'll hang around for a few turns and you could throw it in the doorway, make it very hard for them to see and shoot through. They'd have to move and then try to engage. So yeah, it's a big piece of Breacher gear.
Listen, I think I had a successful mission. I think pretty objectively, by all measure, by all counts, it was a pretty good mission. I had a clear goal in mind, and I accomplished that goal. I jumped through a window.
You did? It was cool.
So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. All right, so in an alternate world where I didn't jump through a window and crash down onto the concrete with my face breaking my fall. We were on turn 5. When does your crew arrive? Your backup arrive?
8. My backup would have arrived on 8.
On 8. So if I had jumped through and on, I'm just trying to think ahead here. It would have been 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. How do you place where they arrive? How do you choose where to
So
sit
I
them?
can place them in contact with any board edge within my deployment. So that 1 foot up from the breacher area, any of those kind of 3 sides.
All right.
I could put them in contact with that. So it'd have an opportunity to kind of chase you down.
And
Hadn't gotten that far.
I could have exited from any of the breach points. I didn't have to use the canoe that
Yes.
I entered on.
Nope. You could have gotten into any of the 3 breach points
I think
down there.
I think that I'm not gonna say I had that one in the bag because it did very much hinge on me shortcutting a lot of distance by jumping through a window onto a shipping container. But I think that roll could have been the difference between
It was
victory.
pivotal. I mean, that was definitely like a pretty pivotal piece of what happened in that game. And that's one of the things that I really like about how the breacher plays, because you only have one. You can play very tactically and it takes you longer to do things, but you're safer. Or you can try and do things like jump out the window, cut time, but then if you expose yourself to a lot of opt for fire, they're not as skilled generally, but they the damage that they potentially can do is the same as what the breach. So you have to be very careful with that.
Yes.
And the boards that you play on, and the opt for, so to kind of keep this more of like a simpler game to get through and to play quickly, I chose to have a lot of kind of higher trained guys, except that I had fewer minis, but I could have taken 2 or 3. You could spend up to half your fog on trained thugs, on the street thugs. I could have had a lot of like really janky guys kind of putting fire on you.
Yeah.
A lot more. So it kind of depends on how you want to build your opt for force. And for this one, honestly, I think had I done it again, I would have had more things like street thugs or militia level guys, because that's a lot of breach points for me to try and cover at the end too. Like it would be very hard to kind of cut you off.
Yeah.
The breach points.
You also, so the setup goes, you get a choice of the operations. Whoever's the breacher versus opt4. The opt4 gives the breacher a choice of 2 scenarios to play. Breacher picks one of them, and then everyone builds their forces.
Yes.
And so you would have seen this table, you would have known the scenario and known the breach points, and then been like, okay, I'm going to need, in this case, because there's a second story, and it may be hard to get my people around or up or down, it would be beneficial just to like Zerg rush everything. To cover this side, and the upstairs. Yeah.
And then while grenades are really great for the breacher, if I've got a lot of forces, then you can, even if you blow up like 2 groups of 4 street thugs, then that could still leave me with like a lot of potential assets.
Yeah.
By having more units on the table, you also get more activations. But if I keep them in similar training levels, then it gives me a lot of opportunity to choose who I act with when a opt4 card is drawn.
Yeah. All right.
There's a lot of like, the game is fairly simple to play, but one of the things that I've enjoyed about writing it is that there's a lot of complexity in how you choose to do things within that. There's a lot of options and choices. Do you want to let the breacher go if you get the initiative and you want to look at the cards, or do you want to go first? So there's a lot of tactical variability.
Yeah, there's a lot of chess, a lot of cat and mouse that can go on during it. Um, that was fun. That had 3 critical moments, 2 of which I felt really good about. One of which I feel confident that I made the right choice and that the world was just against me. So I don't.
Yeah, 20 is a 20. One of the things that you can get if you're playing in campaign mode, you could spend cryptocurrency to buy grit for your butcher. And one of the things that you can do with that is you can spend a point of grit to make a reroll. So you could have been like, oh, I'm a tough, badass guy. I'm going to spend my grit and not fall out. So there are things that you can upgrade with the trainings. People who enjoy action movies, a lot of the specialty trainings that you spend your cryptocurrency on are things like if you kill a guy in melee, kill an op 4 in melee, you can use him as a body shield.
Cool.
Walk him around with you for a little while. You can kill a guy in melee and then do follow-up shots with your secondary weapon. If you every breacher has a handgun as well, so there's a lot of like gun fu that you can do, where you can kill a guy in melee and then shoot somebody up to 4 inches away with your pistol. So you really end up getting into a lot of like the John Wick style action sequences. You can ricochet bullets around and hit people. You can do collateral damage where you shoot through one guy, hit another guy. One of the pieces of equipment that you can take, you can trade in your loadout for a ballistic silk suit, and you have a lot less slots, but you get D3 armor, and you just look cool. So there's lots of fun stuff in there. Some of the different game modes that you can play 1 breacher on Op 4. You can play up to 3 breachers against Op 4. And when you have multiple breachers, you still put 1 breacher activation card in the contact deck for every Op 4 one. But when the breacher card is drawn, the players get to assign the combat maneuver and the movement maneuver however they want amongst their breachers.
Oh, interesting.
So you can have like one guy running up with the movement maneuver, another guy could be on a roof and he could be shooting. So it's still same number of activations, more opportunities with multiple breachers. You can play, there's rules for playing breacher and having Op 4 on each side. So I could have a breacher and some Op 4, and then Connor, you could have your breacher and some Op 4. We could play purely Op 4 on Op 4, and the side that wins, because of the consulting rule, will gain cryptocurrency for the other player's breacher. So there's a lot of play styles within this too to kind of do the kind of action that you want to do.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I'm very pleased with this breacher and his actions, and I can't wait until next week to redeem myself as Canty 3. Canty 3 with no broken ankles or broken backs. He's going to be the best breacher that there ever was.
Oh, we should do one last thing. So if we were playing this as like a campaign and we wanted to track our breachers,
yeah.
There's an injury table that you would roll on since your breacher was taken out of action.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And that could be, let's do that real quick. So the way that the serious injury table rolls is it's a D20 roll, and you look at your breacher at the end of the operation. So when a breacher is taken out of action, you're going to roll a straight D20 on the table. If a breacher ends the operation at 50% or below health but wasn't taken out, you roll a D10 on the table. And if you are above 50% health at the end but still wounded, then you roll a D6 on the table. So being beat up still has the opportunity for you to be injured in some way at the end of the game.
What if I'm
style.
negative,
so bloody feet, whatever.
What if I'm negative 25% health?
You're still just taken out, so you're just going to roll a straight D20, and that could lead to KIA.
I rolled a 16.
16. Shell shock. So the breacher is -2 command. For the next D3 operations. At the start of each operation, roll a D6. On a result of 6, the breacher suffers from this injury. Add +1 to the die for each time the breacher has suffered this injury. So you would roll a d6 the first time, and on a 6, you are -2 command.
I rolled a d6 and got a 3.
Each time you gain this, yeah. So then that means that on the next mission, you would be fine.
Yeah, that's fun.
You can get things like head injuries. Some things only last for the lower level ones, scrapes and bruises. Nothing happens. Bruised ribs. You're -1 momentum at the start of the next operation. That's it. So you can get just like some little things to some serious things. You can break arms and legs and all sorts of good stuff.
So my guy, I came out, broke my back, got shot 25 times, and I'm all right for the next one.
Yeah, you're all right. You're still shell shocked.
Yeah, I've got some.
You managed to crawl away, whatever it is. They throw you over the edge of the railing into the pier, and you drift ashore. Like a half mile down the way. Drag yourself up onto the rocks. You're ready to get back to base.
All they see, they throw me into the river. And
into your canoe.
Into my canoe, and they push me out to sea. And then a few days later, the canoe washes up on shore, empty. That's what happens. It's a good old Canty.
You broke your ankles falling out the window. That's actually what happened. Classic. But yeah, maybe next time we play, we'll put in grenades. We'll change up the op for forces to see something that's a little bit more varied than just a couple handfuls of train guys. And we'll play a different style of mission. We'll do like some collect intel where we're both trying to do a similar thing on the table. There's some crash drones, and we're both kind of fighting to extract intel from the drones.
Listen, that was fun. When are we playing next? Is it next Tuesday? Next Wednesday?
I don't remember the day, honestly, but it's what I think it is, a Tuesday or Wednesday. Either one of those is fine with me. You guys make the call, and we'll get it set up.
Stay tuned on our Discord. We'll drop in the date, and we'll be posting online as well. I think it'll most likely be that Wednesday. But yeah, a little post-Christmas Breacher action right here. I have all these decorations. Gotta get enough streams in to make it worth it,
All the hanging of all the Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's it, Matt. Thank you for walking me through.
Yeah, thanks.
My first real game of Breacher. My first, the Breacher that wasn't the copy from 3 years ago. That was fun, and
Very
I can't
different.
wait. Yes, and I can't wait to get into more of Breacher. Ben,
awesome. Yeah, we'll explore some new elements next time.
Posting that link right there. Everyone, click that link. Check it out. Breacher is going live in January, so just a couple of weeks away. 22 days away, according to this countdown. Gives a little bit, just a little short blurb of what's going on there with Breacher. And if you want to know more, just stay tuned because we'll be streaming more. Something we're going to get back into for all of our game releases coming up in 2024. Giving you a little behind the looks, little gameplay demos. You can jump in, you can ask questions, you can see what's hot, you can see what you're into.
Yeah, thanks again for coming out, everybody, and checking it out. Yeah, next time we'll vary up the forces, throw in some of the different rules, get a chance to see some other aspects of Breacher. Maybe talk about lore a little bit and some of the different Breacher specialties. Maybe talk about lore a little bit.
Oh, I was looking at who to raid it. Yeah, we can raid somebody. We can raid Monument Hobbies. I'm not sure how late they stream.
And if you guys have questions too, if you're on the Discord, pop them in the Breacher general chat. If you've got questions about specifics of it, or something's in the game or will be available at launch, just ask any questions you have there too. Happy to answer whatever I can.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for a little update stream And Matt and I will see you again next week for more Breacher. Everyone, have a good one.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
What all the hype is about. Been a minute since Slow Fuse days. What's going on, man?
Hey, somebody likes us.
Yeah, it's been. Good God, man. You think about that. Blacks, what's going on, man? Blackside Studios, what's going on? Malev, what's going on, Pibbles? Good to see you. ESS
Oh, dude. I was trying to figure
team
out
is in here.
how to turn off the stream
Thanks for the
from my
rating. What's going on,
laptop,
everybody?
and that's not the computer that has the
Rating
stream.
Oh,
Jimmy
dude,
Captain.
I'm hearing this through you.